We are here with Adam Pate, all the way from Cleveland, Ohio. Welcome to the Virtual Engagement Ideas Summit, Adam. It is good to see you. You have been staying warm up there in Cleveland. What's going on in Cleveland?
Oh yeah, it's like 90 degrees out today.
Is it really? But there's no breeze off the lake or anything like that?
Oh, it's beautiful. We go to the lake all the time.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So I know Adam from working at colleges and seeing him at conferences and even actually being on campuses at the same time at times. But Adam is a caricature artist, right? You are a caricature artist, and you have been very much in person. You show up on campus and provide an amazing experience for students. And I've seen you in action, and it's awesome. Tell us a little bit about how you got your start in what you're doing.
Thanks. Well, I used to draw like my friends and teachers in class and get in trouble all the time. And one day when I was drawing teachers, I got at the principal's office, and he goes, people do that for a living? And I went, oh, tell me more about that.
That's cool.
It's a fun job. I got
right.
Draw funny pictures of people all day.
Yeah, and then that was in school. Did you go study art anywhere, or did you just start getting paid to draw?
Yeah, I went to the Art Institute of Pittsburgh, and I have a graphic design associate's degree. But like I've always done caricatures. I was drawing while I was in school. I was drawing before, and I've had jobs since school, but I've always done the caricatures. So
right, and how has that? How has the caricatures allowed you to connect to people?
It's a very personal thing to like draw somebody's face and let them like have that interaction with you and stuff, and see how you see them.
Right. Right. And I've seen you've drawn groups of people. You draw people who sometimes don't know you're drawing them. Sometimes, and then you gift them the caricature of themselves.
Right.
But you, like a lot of the other folks that I get to see working with colleges, is that you really love the connection that you make to people, and that you love seeing people come together at events. And I just think it's really cool that you jumped right in and started continuing that same way of doing stuff when you couldn't be on campus. So can you tell me about like how did you react to not being able to, like, your events being canceled, and then your transition to be like making it work, right?
Well, I love being around people and meet people from like everywhere I go. I love traveling and stuff, and seeing the different cultures and lifestyles that people have in different places. But it's kind of the same thing when you're like doing stuff virtually too. It's like just being there in their home, being there with their family, meeting their pets, and all that sort of thing. We were thinking about doing something like this before the whole COVID thing happened and everything was canceled. Me and Craig from the college agency were just like trying to like figure out how to do it and stuff. And it didn't seem like something anybody want to do, but then all of a sudden he's like, hey, you want to give that a shot? And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Yeah. And luckily it took right off.
Do you feel like you're making connections with people?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's just something that's really fun about like someone like bringing you into their home virtually. It's, you get to meet their family and see how they live.
Well, you mentioned pets. Like, when you were touring, you weren't drawing pets, but now you're going into people's homes. So it creates a whole nother opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah. It's nice. It's so wholesome, like just on a personal level to just like,
right.
Like most of the time I don't get to draw people with their kids or their parents or something like that. But this is nice because they're there with their family, and it's nice that I can do that.
Right.
And give them something that's personal to them, but it's also like something they can share with their family and stuff too.
It is something they share with their families, but in the moment, like you create this moment where it creates a smile, right? When you look at the caricature version of yourself, you can't help but laugh. And I'm sure in your life you've had people look at theirs and go like, that's not me. Right?
It never happens, ever. Yeah. I can't make everybody like their caricature, but my job doesn't suck. I just
Yeah.
I just draw funny pictures of people, make them
Right,
smile, laugh.
right.
I mean,
Yeah. And I think it's neat that we're gonna be able to showcase like what the technology can do. Like how lucky we are that we can still make the connection through the screen that we maybe at first didn't think we could do. So I want this sort of to be a sample for all the advisors out there who are, not sure about the possibilities. Like in the other interviews, it's been a lot of conversation. We've done some singing, some ideas about using platforms out there. But this is we're going to get an actual sample of how intimate this can be, right? So. Adam, reveal what's on that other window that's on our screen. I don't know what's there. All I know is that you have the power to show me what's on that screen. Okay, cool.
there we go.
All right, yeah. I'm screen sharing. You're screen sharing. We're
So
here together.
this will draw you right now. Okay. Hold on one
Hey,
second.
do you want me? Should I stand still?
Yeah, whatever you want
All
to
right,
do.
I'll stand still. I'll stand still.
So I know I've drawn you before, but
Yeah, but not with. I don't think in this. In like not looking this good. You know. I look so good today.
yeah, you do. You do. You always do. I mean, I need to pin your video or something. Say something real quick.
Oh, pin my video? I can do that for you.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, I'll do that. I will make me bigger. Is that? Oh, oh, this is cool. I shouldn't look at myself being drawn.
No, it's kind of neat. It's neat that you can do that because
Right.
ordinarily you can't do that.
Right. Normally, in like an in person on paper, you'd be facing me, and I couldn't see this process happening. Right. But now I'm watching it. This is so cool. All right. Can I sing you a song while you're doing this?
Absolutely.
You light up my life. You give me hope.
Carry on.
You light up my days. Do you know who sang that song?
I don't. I want to see Captain Tennille or something, but
My dad had that album. Look at that. I look like a creepy man next door right now. Oh, that's fun. Who's the guy? I'm like the guy looking over your fence, right?
hey, neighbor.
Hey, neighbor. Hi, how's it going? Can I get you something? Can I borrow some butter for my cookies? I'm baking some cookies. Can I come over there? Can I come over and can I borrow some butter? I'm all out of butter. Can I have 2 eggs?
Well, there you go.
Oh man, that's cool. Should I unpin myself now?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
All right, unpin. Um, and I'm gonna pin that video. That is really fun.
It still take about a minute. That's what I was doing on paper. They would take about a minute. I mean, I can draw faster than this and stuff too. It's nice to be able to color them and whatnot and
Sure,
share them with people.
sure. That's cool. Now you can turn the screen share off, and it's going to go back to us. So, what are some of the other things that you've seen work? So, you're using a technology that's super cool. Are you working on an iPad?
Yeah, it's with Procreate.
Right.
Really cool like tools and stuff you can do.
Right.
All stuff you can't do with pen and paper.
Right. Right. And so now you think you'll go when we're back on tour, you'll use that same thing so you can print immediately from
Yep.
when you get it done. So
Yeah, it's nice to have I have a contact-free option now, so I don't have to touch people and they don't have to touch me and
Oh, right.
So I'll just draw them on the iPad and then print it out, and they can pick it out from the printer. I can just wirelessly print it out. So
Right.
and then all the drawings go in a Dropbox folder that I can send out, so people can see everybody else's drawings and stuff like that, which is something it's ordinarily you can't do.
Right.
It's nice for a
Yeah.
thing where everybody knows everybody. They can see everybody's stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So what have you been doing to stay healthy at home?
Lots of running, lots of biking and
Yeah.
and stuff like that. I've got a 7-year-old and he's not going to daycare, so it's just
Yeah.
me and him having fun all summer.
That's awesome. That's
It
great.
doesn't stop. Yeah.
That's great. So what did you do to stay healthy on the road? What did you do when you were
That's a good
traveling?
question.
Yeah.
I like to try to find places that I can like go off and hike or something like that.
Yeah. Spend time outside.
Yeah, one of my little hobbies is like whenever I'm at a hotel or something, get up in the morning and see if I can like look on a satellite of like where it's nearby and see if I
Uh-huh.
can find like some place to just like hike in the woods that's nearby, like
Oh,
in the
that's cool.
mall or whatever.
And like on somebody's property?
No, it's like they have these like build up places where there's like Walmarts and
Yeah.
Targets and billions of little like shops and food places and stuff. But like I think people overlook like the green areas there. Like it's one of my little hobbies is trying to find places that people don't go.
All right. Just in between, like in between a Target and a Walmart, there might be
Yeah.
some.
Yeah, I love it when there's like a little like creek going through it and something like
Yeah.
that. I mean, it's just I find beauty in things like that.
Uh-huh. Do
Yeah, you
you
look around
draw?
and you don't see those things, but you look for them and you can find them.
Right. And do you, when you go to a place like that, are you sketching?
I have.
Yeah.
Usually I just kind of like go and try to experience that area. It's nice to think that nobody else goes there, you know?
Right. And I mean, how would you, could, what do you call that? Is that mindful hiking? Is it exploring the, like, how would you, like, would you, like, if I'm home as a person, like, what would you call, if you wanted to coach me to go to the woods and you say, Jason, don't go to a state park, don't go to a hiking trail, go find a little nook of woods where somebody might hide a body between a Walmart and Target.
That's what I'm doing. I'm scouting out, you know?
Yeah, you're scout.
No, I think it's just finding things to be thankful for and like everyday things. Like you look around and you take it for granted that this is just like it's all paved and it's all, big box stores and it's all about commerce and things. But like it's nice to find the humanity, I think,
Mhm.
just nature
Mhm.
in all that.
Mhm.
Like not taking it for granted.
Right.
Finding things to be thankful for in
Right.
everyday
I
stuff.
mean, do you actively practice gratuity? Like, do you wake up and say, "Today I'm going to be thankful for certain things"? You do.
Yeah.
And when did you start doing that?
I'm not even sure. I think at some point I just decided that I have a lot to be thankful for, and I don't concentrate on that as often as I did, and it's made me happier, honestly, in the long run. Since I realized that, like, you wake up in the morning, you say, "I'm thankful for this day," and good morning, and hey, let's have a good day, and
Right.
somehow it happens. You do.
Right.
I mean, when your mind is like
Yeah.
focused on that from the very beginning, then
Right. You if you decide that it's going to be a good day, then it's probably going to be a better day than if you didn't make that decision.
yeah, and if you look for opportunities to find thankfulness and be happy and
Yeah.
let your mind go of things that upset you and find and focus on things that make you happy,
Right. And
on things
and
that make other people happy.
especially when it's things that are beyond your control, right?
Yeah,
Like,
it's nice. I guess it's one of the things it's cool about being able to do this virtually is like coming into someone's life, really.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, especially when like when things first started happening back in March and April, it's like everybody's really down and there's
Yeah.
nothing to be happy about because they're
Yeah.
stuck inside, they can't go to work, and they're worried
Yeah.
about like money and stuff. But here I show up and, hey, you want a caricature? Yeah. And these people are smiling, they're happy, they're laughing, and like I'm bringing their family in and I'm
Yeah.
drawing their pets and drawing their plants and
Right. 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 So let me go
stuffed
get
animals,
some
just like whatever they have, like some of these
we-
people, like some of the students I saw were like they were stuck in their dorm rooms, they couldn't leave,
Yeah.
didn't
Yeah.
have a connection to family or their friends around them, and like
Right.
even though their friends like down the hall, they can't go see them.
Sure. Sure. I want to know a little bit more about. I know that you're in the top floor of your house, right? And it's hot, right? It's 90 degrees in Cleveland, and you're hot, and you've dedicated this time to spend with me, knowing that you were going to go to the top floor of your house and sweat just to spend this time with me. What's the view out your window? What do you see?
Let's see, we got neighbors on the front. What, you want to look?
Yeah, yeah. Let's go.
All right,
Let's
hold
go.
on.
Yeah, let's go.
Here's the studio. Here's the studio. The
Oh
hall.
wow, it's the studio. This is where the magic happens.
Yeah, we got paintings on the wall.
Uh
Actually,
huh. Uh huh.
a bunch of paints over here. And
Oh wow! See, that's a whole side of you that we don't get to experience.
so we got the out the door there.
Uh huh.
Neighbors walking everywhere. And
Right. I mean, look, Adam. Like we see your work in black and white, right? We see now we know that there's color. That you have color.
yeah, it's that's something else that's nice about being stuck at home. You get
Right. I mean,
to do all the fun stuff that you don't.
yeah. No, that's great. That's great. Have you started any new things at home, or have you reconnected with things that you used to do that you stopped doing? Like, what's new in the time at home?
Exercising, like just finding time to like.
Uh,
I'd taken up running.
yeah.
I started jogging, and I'm like, I did a 10K, and
No kidding.
I never thought I would be doing something like that. So,
So like, yeah, like six months ago, I would have said, Adam, you want to go for a run?
right.
Yeah. It wouldn't have been, you would have been like, now, would you say that you are a runner?
Yeah, I like to take time and do that. That's the thing that stinks about like traveling all the time. I mean, like I like traveling, but
Yeah.
you sit in the car all day long, and then you get to where you're working, and you sit, and then after you're done, you go sit in your car again, and like go to the hotel room or whatever. And there's not a lot of chances to be active because you're focused on just getting that stuff done.
Right.
But when it's like every day, you don't really take time to do the things that are important for yourself, for your body, and your mind.
And that is great advice to everybody, right? I mean, that message that we got to take time to take care of ourselves.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that I'm actually really thankful for this time.
Yeah.
Like I mean, it's not ideal, and it's not a good reason to be happy, but
yeah,
like if you see the bright side of it, I mean, like there's tons of people walking around outside of my house right now because ordinarily they wouldn't have time to walk their dogs and play with their kids and go for bike rides and things like that.
Right.
But I mean, that's something I've like whenever I go to the park, it's packed full of people.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that last year. Now people are outside, they're having fun, enjoying their life.
That's great. That's great. So I mean, hopefully the folks that are, that are out there in the world and may get to watch this really take this to heart. That like this is a wonderful time to sort of do the thing that you hadn't been doing or never thought you were going to do, right? Start something new and take care of yourself and wake up every morning and be thankful for what's good.
Right. It's a really good opportunity too. Like just, I mean, you think about like doing the virtual stuff and all the stuff that you've done. I mean, like, thank you for stepping up and doing all the work you've been doing with the virtual community. I mean, that's helped me personally a lot, but I mean, I know it's helped a lot of people that are probably watching this video as well. And, cool. But, like you wouldn't have had the opportunity to do that necessarily if this hadn't come along and found creative ways of solving problems, and people have learned that some of the things that they thought were impossible are possible, and they can actually thrive at doing those sort of things, like doing the digital caricatures. I mean, I've always wanted to do it, and when people see, well, you show up and you draw like 200 people in 3 hours, like on paper, we're gonna pass on the digital stuff. We want you to do that. Well, now I can do both.
Right. Yeah.
It's nice, and I never know I could do that, and I don't get a chance to do that very often. But it's nice when I can.
Be interesting for everyone to think about what kind of opportunities have presented themselves in the sense of like things you didn't think. There is a silver lining probably for everybody if we reflect on being home and having the challenge of thinking about the fall. Right, because the fall is still a great unknown, right? For a lot of schools, and maybe breathing into the challenge, right? That there's no way to control it.
Right.
There's
we've come to a point where you can be ready for whatever at the moment's notice, and that's what's required right now, and it's. You and I were talking before. It's sometimes it's difficult. It's difficult to just pull your stuff up and be like, all right, let's do this.
Yeah.
And, it's you come as you are. That's one of the things that I liked about being in people's houses, like through this, is like you see their back, like you see my studio stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not sugar coated. You know,
Right.
it's real, and
Right.
it's tangible, and it's unique, and it's
Right.
personal, and I like it.
Right. Well, then now's my chance to take you backstage too, right?
All right.
It's
Sure.
only fair. It's only fair. I mean, this is you showed me your colors. I'm going to show you that I'm in a Spanish classroom.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, I'm in a Spanish classroom in a place called the Global Education Center, where there's dance studios downstairs. There's classrooms on the second floor. I have an office on the third floor, but because of the traffic out front, so I've been here for probably since early fall. But when I did my first Zoom call in March, the traffic is the first time I heard the traffic outside, because I had these fancy headphones on, and I had this fancy microphone, and I realized that everybody I was talking to on a Zoom call could hear. So I moved inside the building a little more, and I've commandeered this Spanish classroom until I get kicked out. Right, but really, I mean, the simplicity of it is, I want everyone to know that I'm using my computer camera, I'm using my computer microphone, and I'm doing that very much on purpose, so that you can see that you can engage with what we have. We don't need all those other things, right? Your example of your technology is awesome and hugely helpful, but you could still make a connection with somebody because you could still draw my picture and show me my picture.
Yeah.
Right?
You know,
Right.
I love seeing that you're in a Spanish classroom. Like it adds a whole different like dimension
Right.
to this call. I mean, like not only is it literally a different dimension because you're looking at the space and then you look at the space
Yeah.
behind it,
Yeah.
but like it's just more personal that way. It's
Right. Yeah. Well, the reality, like, what is this wall? Like, it's mysterious, but it's a giant piece of gray paper.
right.
Right. So I happen to have a friend who is a photographer, and he does a lot of big photo shoots, and he has rolls and rolls of paper, and he let me take the gray one. That's why I have a gray background. That was the.
It's interesting though that there's a story behind all of that. That's what I think is cool. It's just like let's get to know Jason a little bit better. Like why does Jason have this really unique studio there? And then but there's a story behind it. It's the
Well, I mean, realism. This is normally in my shot, right? And this is a normal feature of pretty much every one of my videos, every one of my events, right? But it's not on.
Okay.
But it adds a dimension to the
have that capability, but you'd rather
yes, I could turn it on, yes.
One-on-one.
But when I do use an external mic and I do put on headphones, this is not the mic you're hearing that I'm using. I'm using the mic up here. Mm-hmm. And this mic, okay, this is a fancy mic. This is a $29 Radio Shack mic, and it works better than the fancy mic. Right? Here, I'll try to do this without breaking any wires. Like really, literally, there's masking tape up there holding up a gray piece of paper. I have two desks. I have a desk, and then my computer's on a bench. It's kind of hard to see, but hey, let's do this. See if I can spin around. Right? And I've got things that I use for my workshops on the desk. Hold on, I'm trying to do this. There. It's colorful and messy. Right? There's nothing fancy going on here, but when you are a performer and you realize that not everybody gets to see backstage, you set the stage.
Yeah.
So I've set the stage for my show, for my performance, right?
Something I enjoy ever since this whole thing goes. I don't know. You watch Trevor Noah at all?
Yeah.
Like I love watching him doing his daily show from his living room or whatever.
Sure.
And even I remember when The Walking Dead was still going on or whatever, Chris Hardwick had that show where he would do the Talking Dead or something after it.
Huh?
The first couple of weeks he just had several people in their own homes doing a Zoom call for that show. I don't think it's on anymore, but it was kind of neat, seeing how your favorite actors what their houses are like or whatever, where they choose to present themselves.
I think I went with this background because originally I thought I would have a virtual background at everything, right? So I'd have lots of options, but really, but once I had this, I was like, well, this is really It's kind of warm, you know. It's gray warm. It's gray warm. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
and it works. So I you know, I change my shirt every once in a while. This is my interview black shirt, but I do change my undershirts. You know.
You gotta have that green on so somebody can like
Yeah.
Photoshop different stuff on your shirt, you know.
Oh, that's right. You could do that. Man, yeah. Well, hey, so what's your hope? What's your hope for the fall? What advice would you give to schools right now about looking forward to the fall? What's the big challenge?
uh, Take this opportunity to learn how to do things virtually and
Hmm.
make them, and like if you're gonna worry about them being shiny, now's the time to like figure out how it's gonna make it look shiny.
Yeah.
Other than that, just do things as it comes and not don't worry so much about it being perfect and just do it.
Just do it. Don't worry about perfection.
Yeah. I mean, because we're all, I mean, this is personal. This is a personal time, and it's a time to grasp that.
Yeah.
I'm thankful for that connection that we have, and
Yeah.
instead of feeling further apart. I mean, like Zoom is kind of it's one of those things where you don't really consider like your neighbors and stuff like that, being close and stuff. But it's nice to reach out through this, and people have like virtual like cocktail hours or whatever, you know,
Right. Right. Right.
virtual meetings with their friends and their neighbors and stuff. And
Yeah.
I think it's actually probably been more important to uh, as a way to bring people together than keeping people apart. It's sort of a thing.
I wonder if like if there were 6 or 8 or even 10 of us on the screen, and or if there were 6 or 8 or 10 of us at a party, right? Are we listening to each other better on Zoom than we would at a party?
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
Right? We're better listeners.
We have there's as the caricature community is you know, there's hundreds of us all over the world.
Yeah.
It's fun right now because sometimes somebody will have like a caricature barbecue or whatever, and they'll invite everybody like onto a Zoom call, and we literally have like 50 to 100 people just drawing like somebody's face, like, oh, let's pin Jason's face, and we'll all draw him.
Everybody does. Awesome.
Yeah, it's like a little convention and stuff, and everybody's like, just talking and having a good time, drinking beer and like, whatever. They, their family's doing whatever, and their kids.
Right, right. How fun to even think. Yeah, of course. You're not there's a community.
Yeah.
There's a community of caricature artists who get together and, and draw each other.
We're total nerds. It's fun like that. Yeah, my son Elijah comes up sometimes, and like I'll be working or drawing somebody or something like that, and he'll come up and be like, "What you doing? What you?" doing? And he'll start talking to people on the screen, and it was funny. I was drawing a couple nights ago, and there was a little girl. It was probably about 9 o'clock. It's time for him to go to bed, and I was drawing a little girl and her family, and he came up to kiss me goodnight, and I held him over here, and I was like, "Hey, look, the little girl's about your age." And they started talking, and I told him what I was doing, like how I was drawing her and stuff. And she's watching like the screen, and she's watching what I'm doing, and she's going, "Wow, I want to draw now too." And he goes, I go, Elijah likes to draw a lot too. And he goes, "Oh wait!" He ran downstairs and like got a picture that he just drew and brought it up here. He was like showing the little girl.
Oh, that's cute. That's great. It's not pen pals anymore.
Right? Yeah.
We have a Zoom pal. Right?
I mean, it's cute. I get that.
Yeah.
That made my whole night. I think that was
right.
I know it is.
Yeah, that's super cool. Yeah. Well, yeah. Maybe they'll start writing letters.
It's fun to do. It's not an interaction that I would have been able to have on like different levels, like drawing somebody's kid with them and drawing the whole family together.
Right.
Being able to just be there and.
Yeah. And I'm excited to see. I mean, I know you have a whole new project coming up too, which is something that maybe we'll do a whole nother interview in the future. When exactly you have it has a specific name. When you're drawing as someone's talking, or you're doing
scribing,
scribing. You're doing the visual version of someone's presentation.
Right.
Is that way to say it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like graphic facilitation, graphic recording, visual practicing. It's got a lot of different names. Mostly it's referred to in the business as scribing, where you hear an idea and you're listening on a level that you're supposed to be listening. Like, say if we were doing one for this interview, I would have talked to you beforehand, like, what are you looking for? What's important? What do you hope to get out of it? And then I would listen on that level and try to communicate your ideas visually so that whoever was watching could understand them better. You and I could understand them better.
Right.
Sometimes I even do that just when I'm like practicing out an idea or something like that. In fact, here's one right here. I just have just an idea of my contact-free site.
Oh, so you've drawn out your idea for a new website.
Yeah, it helps me just to think visually. Cool. It helps me like compartmentalize things so that I can see it clearly in my head. And
I mean, is that something you could teach other people to do?
Yeah, actually.
Right.
That's what I'd like to do is like help people to do that sort of a thing and
right. So
imagine those tools that they can work with.
Imagine that you're every night you're awake at 1 a.m. Not you, but a person is awake at 1 a.m. just with the anxieties of all the things that they're trying to get done, all the plans, all the things, and then if you could create it visually, it would make some more sense of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it helps you organize your thoughts.
Yeah.
Kind of like making lists and things. Like try to like just. I find that like once I have something in my brain, like if I can write it down.
Yeah,
I can put a pin in it for later. You know, I can look at that, you know, list or that drawing or whatever, and I can go, okay, and I'll think about it once or twice while I'm doing it, obviously. But like later on, I can look at it and I can know exactly what I was thinking at that time.
Right.
Well, like we just start.
It brings back the full memory.
Yeah. And finish that idea and work on it and kind of boil it down into like what I need to do to the next step, you know. That's kind of one of the things I was looking forward to actually when everything was getting canceled. I'm like, wow, that sucks, but look at all the time I'm gonna have to like work on things that I've been
right. Yeah. I mean literally like this. I'm normally at summer camp in the summer, right? I'm normally at summer camp and every year I'm working with kids in the summer, but I always back burner my career as a speaker and as a performer, as a songwriter, because I'm teaching sailing or I'm coaching 10 and under kickball or I'm, you know, driving a van full of campers to a camping trip. Like those are wonderful things. Those are awesome things. But I have a career that I ignore, right? This summer my camp couldn't happen and tonight I have a virtual event with campers. But I've been so busy, but good busy because I've been able to create other things.
Mm-hmm.
I've been able to create other things that I've been thinking about for a long time, you know, and so I'm glad that we've had this opportunity, and I really hope that everyone has found some new thing to learn, right? Some new thing to do, like when you're jogging. And if so what I'm saying, this is not my interview, this is your interview. Like now's a great time. Now's a great time. If there's that thing that you've wanted to do, start.
Mm-hmm.
What's the best time? If not you, who? If not now, when? Right? Let's do it. Right?
I see Sheila do it. Just do it.
Rocky Balboa goes running up the stairs. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to have the opportunity. I mean, it's
good
to be able to just sit down and like have a retreat on your own.
Mm-hmm.
To, like think about yourself and like your goals and the things that you want to do, your dreams, and actually have time to like work on those things instead of putting them off. You know, right now it's just.
I don't think I've ever heard of the idea of the one person retreat. I love that.
Yeah.
Like, why do you have to go on a retreat with a team? Just do a one-man retreat, a one-person retreat.
Yeah, it's mental health. I mean, it's like a break. You give yourself space, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, to just follow an idea, follow that little balloon, and like see where it goes. You know.
Right. Cool.
And no interruptions, and that's okay. And you have to allow yourself to do that. I guess it's kind of where I'm doing with the whole like trying to find a place to retreat to when I'm like in a in a hotel or something like
Right.
that.
You're finding the green spaces, right?
Yeah, I'm looking for a space that I can just
Yeah.
explore and give
Right.
myself the time and be thankful for that as well. So
Yeah. And I've talked to a lot of advisors over the last few months, and I think it's going to be really important for people to schedule that, because we have because we're always at the office. If we're always at home and we're always on the computer, we're always at the office. So it's important to like be regimented in a way to schedule your retreat, not wait for it to happen, but put it on your schedule.
hmm yeah,
Right?
give it its own space. Make sure that you do it. And
Yeah.
I mean, don't force yourself. I mean, that's not the point. But
Right.
I guess it's nice that when you have an open schedule, if you can take, like, just say, I want to, like, today, I'm going to be upstairs working on projects. I don't want to be interrupted. And
Yeah.
you can do that, or go to the park.
Yeah. But I think I also you agree or not agree with this, that you can take a 5-minute retreat.
Absolutely.
It doesn't have to be, you don't have to go somewhere. You could do it right. You could decide after this and like, hey, I'm not going to do anything after this conversation. After we say goodbye, I'm just going to lay on the floor and look at the ceiling for 5 minutes. Right. I'm going on my one dude retreat.
That's good. You know, if you did that like in a normal environment or whatever, you know, people might look at you funny, but like now is like perfect. You have that space. You can do that.
I don't know,
And
man. I think moving forward, we could make that cultural norm. Right. Right. Yeah.
It's kind of like prayer, you know, it's like just taking time to be
Yeah.
introverted for a few minutes, and that's okay. Like, give yourself permission to do that.
Yeah.
Forgive yourself for all the busyness, all that you have on your life.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Take a second and appreciate life.
It would be fun at a conference and when we're in person at some point, we're just people randomly just lay on the floor. Just look at the ceiling. Like, what are you doing? It's like, it's just too much stimulation. I'm giving myself a retreat. We'll make it okay. We'll make it okay.
I mean, that's what it's all about. Just taking take a minute to breathe, and now's a good time to.
Yeah.
It's like it's an involuntary time to breathe right now.
Yeah. 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 It's been good chatting with you.
Yeah, you too.
I asked you a question earlier before I turned the video on. I asked you what your go-to karaoke song is.
Oh yeah, it had to be you.
Can you share that with me right now? Will you dedicate it to me and sing it to me?
Absolutely, Jason.
Thank you. You don't need the background music. Yes, okay.
It had to be you. It had to be you. I wandered around and finally found the somebody who could make me be blue, could make me be true, make me feel glad just to be sad, thinking of you. Some others I've seen might never be mean, might never be cross or try to be boss, but they wouldn't do. Nobody else gave me a thrill. With all your faults, I love you still. It had to be you, marvelous you. It had to be you.
That's awesome. I was trying to dance with a partner for one bit, but really it was a solo dance. You got a good voice.
Hey, thanks.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait to do karaoke with you again. Let's do our weekly karaoke, weekly get together.
That'd be fun.
All right. Well, thanks again. It's good to have you here. Thanks to all the advisors who are watching this. Thanks to everybody who's watching this. Adam Pate.
Thanks for having us all, and appreciate you.